Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today, that's right, we're going to be creating an awesome sugarcane farm, and then we're also going to be making a bunch of cookies. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we are going to be jumping in to some more SkyFactory, and we're going to be working on progressing further through the advancements. And I want to start working on some of the funny ones, some of the ones that I think are going to be cool and interesting to automate. And that is, first of all, the cookie clicker. Fill a cookie jar with cookie singularities and right click it. Yes, that is a thing that we should do. I also thought there was one for normal cookies. Maybe I was wrong. I thought there was one for normal cookies, but of course, I think it's literally just this one. This is a hilarious thing, and we need to make cookie singularities, which is going to get us started into making singularities in general. I would love to make the Ender game singularity. We're going to see how that is going to go, because of course there are some really cool things that are going to be happening very soon, and which we'll be getting into. But let's go ahead and kind of get started with the cookie one. And to do that, we're going to need an ingot former and a melter. At least I'm going to try and use these and see how fast they are. I don't want to just make massive amounts of these machines and call it automation and call it done. I just don't find that fun. So what I want to do is try and utilize these two machines. And what I want to do is use my applied energistic system that I already have to set the automation for this. And it shouldn't actually be too difficult to do that, because all we need is to take this ingot former and melter, and I think you can place them next to each other and they will produce the material. So if we take a melter and say we place the melter right here, for example, and we place the ingot former there, I should be able to pull the materials out, or input materials in one side and output the materials in the other side. Of course, once we get some speed upgrades going. To do that, we can kind of work a little bit more with applied energistics. And we're going to need some glass cables and a export bus, because we're going to want to pull things from our network, and we also want to make sure they're crafted as well. So let's see. We're going to make an export bus for this. And then we're also going to need a crafting card. Let's go ahead and make a blank card here, basic card, and a crafting card. Awesome. And we're going to eventually set up some auto crafts for this, but what I should be able to do is place this here. And I think I have, do I? Probably not. I was going to say, is there any cabling directly under here? Oh, there is. Perfect. So we should be able to just hook this directly in and connect that there. And this right here has a filter. So this is technically a filter, I believe. But what we can do is set a crafting card here, and you can see crafting behavior. Use stocked items or craft items while exporting. Do not use stocked items, only craft items while exporting, or vice versa. So we should be able to set this to craft an item that we specify. And that item is going to be the cookie amber. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a couple of those, just so we have those pulled out. And we're going to use this cookie amber. We should be able to put that here. Now that should start auto crafting. I think that's how it works. So it should start pulling the auto craft as it's requesting it. Yes. So we didn't have 3 before. Now we do. So that should be auto crafting that particular item. All right, let's see. We should be able to make some acceleration cards. I think that's right. Yeah. Acceleration cards, and that should help this, right? Speed that process up. And then we also need to find out where this block is being crafted. Which one is it? It is one of these ambers that is listed in here. That is acorn. Wait, that's gold. And it's probably right here. Ah, cookie right here. So we should be able to put a speed upgrade. Oh, can we not put speed upgrades go in these? Yeah, there we go. So if we put some speed upgrades in the adjacent sections here, because I don't know which ones these are actually funneling to, but it's going to be one of those. that should start to speed up that process, I hope. So there's 14, and it should just continue to get faster as it goes, I hope. There it goes. So once it recognizes it's empty, it'll work. Okay, so let's get that some power. And to do that, we'll just use a couple of points on here. Is that a point? Wonder why that didn't want to connect. Interesting. Either way, we'll get that going. So that's getting that in there. Does the ingot former does not require energy? Oh, so the ingot former doesn't require energy. All right, let's get ourselves some speed upgrades. Actually, I just think it's upgrades. We're going to need 64 on that, 64 on those. And we'll throw that in here. I do love the animation for that. Pretty cool. And that is going to work really fast. So what we should get is 4 cookies per amber here. And then on this one, which doesn't require power, and I'm just breaking everything. All right. So this that doesn't require power, it should just pull, I think, from the adjacent inventory. Maybe it doesn't. I thought it automatically pulled from here. Doesn't seem to do that. So I guess we're going to have to pipe the fluid from here to here. Okay. Well, to do that, we have integrated tunnels or integrated dynamics, or we just use fluid extraction cables, which I think fluid extraction cables are probably going to be the easiest for us. All right. So ingot former, fluid extraction cable. There you go. And we'll throw some speed upgrades there. That's going pretty fast. I mean, that's producing quite a few cookies at a pretty reasonable rate. That's keeping up. So given the amount that we have, this should function very well. So now we're going to need an import bus. All right. So import bus and some more cable. And we should be good to go. Also, we're going to probably need some acceleration cards. And I don't know why they're not auto-crafted already. Because these things are pretty important. So auto-craft that, and that needs to be set up with a different kind of crystal. Also, I went ahead and done this. We'll talk about that here in a second. So I went ahead and set up the auto-crafting for some other stuff. So Fluix. Let's grab that. And we'll just hand do this one, because that's just going to have to work. Acceleration card. Let me just go ahead and make that. There we go. And then we can make our own. Perfect. And now we can auto-craft them. Beautiful. Gotta love auto-crafting. All right. Acceleration cards. There we go. So yeah, that shouldn't take very long. That should just be pulling the stuff. There we go. Awesome. Now, we need to get this routed through, and I think, yeah, there's cable directly underneath, which is going to be perfect for us. Because all we can do here is we can put that import bus, and remember, import is going to pull items. That's going to start pulling cookies very slowly. That's where these speed upgrades are going to come in handy. And that's going to start pulling them out as fast as it goes in there. Awesome. Guys, we are automating with Applied Energistics. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty cool. And it looks like I broke that on the outside wall. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. All right, so with that setup done, we're now putting cookies in here. Lots of them. But we also need to start getting our singularity made. So let's start working on singularities. To make a singularity or any kind of singularity, we're going to need a quantum compressor, and we're going to need an ultimate catalyst. The ultimate catalyst is going to be easy for us to just hand make. Actually, I could probably set up a old-fashioned crafting recipe for this. Might as well. Let's get some think we need patterns. We'll start that. That should start crafting some patterns. There we go. And that should be pretty easy in itself to handle. We are almost running out of spaces for stuff. We have literally auto-crafted so much. It's kind of crazy. The amount of stuff that we've actually got set up. And I guess that only made one pattern. That's okay. We can actually reset these patterns. Wonder if there's a blockage or something in here. Crafting CPU. Oh no, it's actually doing a craft right now. Deep craft. Look at that. It's cutting on quartz and making iron and all kinds of good stuff in order to make those patterns. Awesome. Sweet. All right, so we'll throw that back in here. Awesome. Yeah, you can see the crafts all happening right there. Look at that. Look at all those crafts just going on. Now, we only have 2 of these, so I might actually cancel this pattern, because we don't really need patterns going on. All right, so now that that is done, we can go ahead and craft the machine that we're going to need. And that is, from extra or extended crafting, we're going to need a quantum compressor. That's how we're going to make this thing. And the quantum compressor may look like a very complicated, it's just a kind of a convoluted crafting recipe, but we should be able to handle it because I do have all of the stuff ready to make it. So let's go ahead and grab a pattern. I guess we can grab all those patterns. And we can go ahead and set an encoding pattern for it. Find somewhere to place it. And there we go. We can now craft one. And hopefully, it will craft it at a pretty decent pace. You can see it's doing all the things. You know, which is, you know, doing it at a... Which, the one thing you're going to need a lot of is some ink sacks, because it does use black dye as a means of making it. So, there we go. And then we also need an ultimate catalyst. So I'm going to go ahead and make that. And that's the other thing. This is why auto crafting is so important. Auto crafting is a must do. All right, and cookies. And we're also going to need a point, I believe. And there we go. I still don't know why I don't have an auto craft set up for that. All right, so over here, I can go and place it since we have this set up next to it. All we got to do is provide this with some power. So that's provided with power. It's completely powered up. And a catalyst. And then we need to tell it what to be. And I believe it is already set now to cookies. And we're going to need to pump this thing with 10,000 cookies. Yeah. So let's get another export bus. And we're just going to have to let this thing, you know, do its thing. So right here, we're going to put that to cookies. And some speed or acceleration cards. A couple later, set that to cookie. Add some acceleration cards. And we should start getting this thing filled with cookies. Yeah. And it's going to take a little bit of time. But once we get that, then we can start running the parabox. And we can start duplicating the singularities. Yeah. Lots of cool stuff to do here. So next on my to-do list is going to be this one down here, Sugar High. So I want to get this one started because we're going to end up to complete that. I believe that is an octuple. Yeah, octuple. That is going to be roughly, I believe it's 43 million. And some, I think it's like 43 million, like 46,000 some odd. Sugarcane that we're going to need for that. Very specific. And what I need to do is make a compact machine for that, because there is no way I'm setting up this automation in the overworld, because that would be the laggiest thing I could possibly do. Now, unfortunately, in this pack, I don't believe there is any sort of like what I would call virtual farming. Now, I could use some prestige points to potentially unlock a method that would be a little bit faster. I think if we unlocked with our prestige this right here, which is the mystical agriculture, it would make life a lot easier. At least I believe it would. But that's going to require a lot of prestige points, just a lot of waiting. And I want to find a way to do it without it. Because I don't know, I'm just weird that way. So what I'm going to do is create this giant cube here. And I think inside requires, let's get some cobble. It requires a block of emerald because we've already made one of these. This is just me making another one. Let's see. This goes on the inside. The emerald. Actually, I think this is smaller. I think I started making this too big. I think it's a 5x5 that I needed to make. Let's find the center block. Yeah, I need to make a 5x5. Not what I was making. So this right here. So yeah, I need to go ahead and make this. We're gonna go ahead and get this compressed down, and then I'm gonna show you the sugarcane farm that I'm gonna be working on. Things gonna be pretty epic. At least I think it's gonna be epic. But like I said, it is going to be pretty laggy. So that's why I want it in a compact machine. So here we are in that giant room that we ended up making. And what we want to do is kind of get this thing set up. So I have my snad here. We have our redstone clocks, and I want to get a little farm made. And I think I kind of want to line it up right around here. So what we'll do is we will set these blocks in a pattern that is going to have snad on it. At least the snad is going to go actually on the in-betweens of these blocks, because water is actually going to set here. Because the stuff does need water. So let's go ahead. I think the most efficient way would actually to have this corner have a space like that. All right, so I need to go ahead and fill this out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these redstone clocks set. I might have to make some more, and I'm going to set those all down to 1 tick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this sort of pattern. With snad, like that. And then on the sides, we're going to set this down all the way down to 1 and 1. This is not going to be the most server-friendly thing in the world. But that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And then this is going to be water right here. And it's going to be the same on this. So technically this is going to go out like so. Because snad is actually going to go here, and then we're going to have water on the outside block. So there are going to be a few things that are going to be a little bit weird. Like water being right here. I do have a manual and bucket. And like if I was to place this here, which sand is actually going to go here. Place that, and then place our sugarcane, you'll see that will actually grow pretty, at a pretty significant pace. And once I get all these placed, this will probably be super tall, and then we'll get the automation set up. Now that we got all the sugarcane down and everything looks pretty good, I did sort of go with an X pattern, as I just did not want to place so many of those redstone clocks going at full pace. But as I can show you, this grows back instantly. And I think this is going to get the job done very well. So what I want to do here is, before we even start placing anything that's going to break anything, I need to place something down that is going to collect everything. And that is where the item collector is going to come in handy. This guy will collect any items that are dropped on the ground, given that you specify a area. And I think the 11 by 11, I think we have to go one more, 13 by 13, and that is good. So if we drop items, like right here, it will automatically collect them. This thing is super awesome, and we should be able to filter, say, only collect sugarcane from here. But another good thing about this, or another bad thing I should say, is, or one bad thing, is that these items down, if we were to break this and say some items were to go to here, well, we kind of can't collect them. We can collect everywhere else, but not where it currently exists. So the best way to fix that, I think, is just to place a water source here. So that way it drains all the way down here, and place another one here. And that way any items that are here will get forced into that area. So if I was to drop any sugarcane right here, it's going to get collected. I drop sugarcane here, it's going to get collected. In here, it's going to be pushed eventually until it makes it here. So I think this is going to work perfect. Now, all we got to do is set up, let's turn our guide off, is to set up a way to break all this. And technically, I want it to break at this level, so that way it maximizes the amount of sugarcane that we get every cycle. And to do that, we have to go to this level here and use a harvester. So the harvester, if we show its range, you'll see that it will harvest stuff that is within this block area. Not anything below, not anything above, I do believe. And I want to set this to area, so that way it cycles all together. And then I'm going to set it to 13. And I think that should be good. Now, the only other bad part about this one is that it's going to eventually collect a lot of things in its internal inventory that it can, and then it's going to start spilling things on the ground. I'm okay with it spilling things on the ground. That's why I have this down here to pick everything up. So what we need to do now is give it some power. I do have a point. There we go. And let's hook it up with some power. It is probably going to break everything on the first run after its buffer. See, this also has a cooldown. It's probably going to be pretty laggy. Okay, so as you can see, it dropped, items got collected, and then it picked up some in its internal inventory, and it's going to keep doing this over and over again. Let's set that to redstone on, so that way we can shut it off temporarily, because I don't want to be in here while it's doing that. That is incredibly laggy. All right, so let's go ahead and set a tunnel so we can extract the items out of this bad boy. I want everything to be extracted down because I have a chest currently under this thing, and I want to actually pipe items into this chest to be exported out. And to do that, let's go ahead and take an item extract cable, throw that on there. That should start pulling items out once we set that up, I believe. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. Actually, let me set my spawn point to right here, and then we can leave. And then we're gonna make sure that I did set it onto a chest. Okay, so I need to move this. Make sure I set it onto a chest. There we go. Now the chest is being filled with the stuff. And then this should be fast enough to extract it out. I forget. Am I using this? This is an import bus. Okay. So we need to fill this because I want that to be able to pull all the items out. There we go. That is plenty fast enough now. Perfect. You know, I did just break that. There we go. I was about to say, I thought I broke that block. All right, so last thing to do, go back in here. And all we got to do is turn this bad boy on. And hopefully we don't run into any issues. This should be able to collect a ton of sugarcane now. I mean, a ton. Well, let's turn this on to always on. I'll let it do one more go. Man, that is some nasty stuff that I do not want to be in here for. Let's leave. And we should start seeing like a continuous amount of sugarcane build up in here. I mean, that's pretty good. And so what we can do with this, the sugarcane that is building up, because of course we have tons of storage. I'm not too concerned about filling any of these drives anytime soon. But we have tons of storage, and we can take that sugarcane and we can use it to compact it down into compressed sugarcane. And then take that, compress it down, and that's going to get us exactly what we want. And we can keep compressing this down over and over again until we get what we want. We're already at triple. So the more cane that comes in, the better chances we have of getting it to the octuple compressed. And it's probably going to be best for us just to do it by hand. I could set up a system that automatically does it, but I think that, you know, it's probably going to be better to just do it by hand. As once we get to the octuple compressed, I mean, we're going to have, what, 43 million or so. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. We've already compressed a lot as it is. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know we did a lot. I hope you guys kind of got this. I know this should be, this is already done. Look at that. We already have a sugar singularity. Guys, I had so much fun setting these things up with you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go ahead and smack that like button if you did enjoy this video. And also click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And join our Discord community. You can find links for all of that great stuff down in the description below, guys. And I just want to say thank you guys for sticking through this series if you guys have made it this far. And as always, thanks for watching.